So Luck and Shubham, are you guys here?
Hey Naman, hi, I'm in the session.
Okay, thank you, Shubham. Let me just quickly check with Luck.
And choice fair.
Okay. So again, guys, this is Naman, and I know that a lot of a lot of people know me very well. I have interacted with you many times. So here at Thinkcloudly, I take care of all the management activities, and I also conduct some of the trainings and as well as some of the capsule courses. And many of you have been part of all those sessions, and I hope everyone know me. So I just wanted to make sure that, all of you understand the difference between project management and Scrum Master. There is a very thin difference between project management and Scrum Master. And many of you who actually come from a different background, probably you are in IT, but still you never come across these two profiles. And that's why you could never able to understand that how project management is actually different from Scrum Master. So we wanted to enlighten all of us, all of our students, to ensure that everyone understands that what's the difference, and if you are planning your career, then where should you go. That's why we were in touch with Shubham, and I was talking to him that we need to enlighten our students. So what's the plan? Then he suggested that let's have the webinar, and let's go ahead and explain everyone who is actually very interested to understand it. They will join and we will be able to communicate very well. So to be honest with you, project management and Scrum Master both are high in demand. So people who like to be more of a supervisor roles, or you like to be a leader, you know. So these are some of the roles where you lead a team or you lead a project and you get the project done or you get the task done. I mean, so that is something, this career, project management as well as Scrum Master, is actually meant for those people who would like to, get into a career of management. But yes, if you have additional knowledge on cybersecurity, cloud, AI, DevOps, and you have the project management or Scrum Master knowledge, this is a very hot combo in the market right now. People are actually looking for candidates or individuals who have techno managerial role. So building your skills into technical with manager, that's something which is very hot in the market, and that is really a welcoming IT career. So this is for everyone. Okay. Now, moving to our session, because I see a lot of people have already joined. Thanks again for joining us. So so here we are going to start our, it's a tradition actually, where we we make sure that we run a 60 minutes offer where we actually run 50% discount on most of our courses where we think that it can benefit our students. So this is 60 minutes offer for all of you. If you would like to buy for your friend or for your family member, you can certainly let us know. So here are 5 different courses: Python, Linux, Scrum, project management, and cybersecurity. All the courses are off, 50% off for next 60 minutes. If you are interested, you can drop your interest in the chat, in the Zoom chat, or in the WhatsApp group that you are interested, and the course name. Post this session, one of our admin or either me will connect with you and will try to understand your requirement and will register you so that you get 50% discount on any of these courses. If you want to go for multiple, you can. But all these Python, Linux, Scrum, project management, cybersecurity, these are very trending courses. We have highly experienced instructors. So if you talk about Python, right, Python is like, we will make sure that you become a developer, you become a software developer. If you learn Linux, you know that how to basically write the shell script. So if in case you are interested, you can look at the pricing over here, and here we have the pricing on like 50% discount. You just need to express your interest, that's it. Just let us know your interest, and in the WhatsApp group or in the Zoom chat with your name and the course name, and we'll immediately make sure that we consider you for this 50% discount. I'll not take more time over here, but any one of you who is interested, please drop your interest so that we can take it forward. Okay. So guys, if you could just take a look for 10 seconds so that I can just move forward. Okay, let's move forward, guys. I'll again come back to this screen again if in case you are interested. So I'll come back to this. Okay, now I would like to move to our first section of this webinar, where I would like to congratulate Luke, who has really, shown and proved that he can become a project manager. So he's actually working as a project manager, and that was really a big news when he actually told me about it. So congratulations, Luke. I would request you that if you can enlighten your journey to all our students so that they understand what should be the next steps and what should they do to get into IT space and work as project manager. So please enlighten all of us if you're there on the call with us.
Good morning, guys. Thank you, Naman. So, as Naman said, yeah, I just started, I think it's about a month and a half now. I got my first job as a project manager. I basically just took the right step. I contacted Naman. He connected me with one of the project managers, teachers, which is Umas. And just we went through the sessions. I studied a lot. It's a lot of study. So you have to just be patient, study a lot, and keep applying yourself. And then, yeah, from there you'll get a job. Just the thing is, you can't give up. So that's it. Yeah. And then Naman, I was offered support. So don't worry about anything. After you get a job, he'll be able to help you forward as well. Thank you.
Yeah. So Luke, thank you so much. Luke, would you mind to give some tips that like if anyone who is really interested, one thing is that he has to attend the sessions, he has to understand that the project management, what project manager does, and our instructor, Mr. Uma, or he will be able to guide every one of student. But what is the extra tip you would like to pass on to all our students? What should they do? I mean, should they how much time should they spend, should they be spending every day on project management? From where can they get some case studies, and what are the expectations from the interview? Let's say if you're going for a project management interview, then what kind of questions are asked, whether those are the scenario based or conceptual. So if you can just enlighten on all of these things, maybe for next 2 or 3 minutes, that would be very good.
Okay, as for study, I'll say after the session, always make sure you spend about maybe an extra hour or something, potentially, because I know everyone's busy, so it just depends on your schedule. Also watch YouTube videos on how project managers actually interact with their team in real life. Because project management base is mostly just talking. So you have to be comfortable in understanding, how to conduct meetings, how to lead meetings. That's mostly it. Um, as for the interview process, like I said, again, it's mostly communication and talking. Um, there'll be mostly a lot of questions on how you handle your team, um, what kind of tools you use. If there's project is not going well, what step do you take? Those kind of questions. But those questions, the project manager teacher will help you with those. Um, that's what the case studies helps a lot with that. The case study basically kind of just it helps you understand a real life environment and how you can interact or make decisions. And so yeah. And then as for the job, like don't worry, once you get a job, you always have time to learn on the job as well. Because every company is different. So it's their job to kind of show you how the process work. So in the midst of them showing you how the process works, you're learning how to be a project manager at the same time. So like for me when I started, um, I was kind of lucky. Um, I was placed on this project where the project manager was leaving. So with her leaving, she kind of had to show me the kind of project she was working on, how the clients um, like her to do things, basically her process. So in the midst of her showing me her process, I basically just kind of understood how project management work all together. So yeah.
So, Luke, one more question. Basically, so when you are working right now as a project manager, is there any technical skills expected from you, or is it completely to meet people, to meet with the team, to do some budget things, or to meet with the client? So, is it a role which involves any technical skills, or
No,
okay?
you don't need any technical skills at all. Um, if you want to learn it on your own, it will be a plus, maybe. So you sometimes you can understand where developers are coming from or the website, but you don't need to know any technical skills at all. Um, like as for me, my daily activities right now, um, my environment is waterfall agile-ish. So um I lead our Scrum meetings. So basically in those Scrum meetings, I just need to make sure that our developers or the team members are getting the work done. I need to make sure, for example, when a new ticket gets assigned to them, I need to let them know, hey John, I've assigned this ticket to you. Just make sure you take a look at it. Or hey John, the QA lady have um tested your ticket. Look at her feedback. Please fix it. Stuff like that. So it's really not hard at all. So
That's
that's just,
that's actually very good, Luke. That, like, if in case anyone who is struggling with technical knowledge of it, then they can actually build their career into project management. And it requires, yes, it requires or it doesn't require in-depth technical skills. However, having the high level technical knowledge is really good. Let's imagine that as you said, that there are multiple teams. There is one team which is working on the website. There's another team which is working on the testing part of it. There's another team which is taking care of marketing part of it. I mean, there are three teams. So as a project manager, you have to interact with everyone. You might be assigning tickets, or you might be assigning some tasks to the team members, and you are getting the work done. Am I right, Luke? That is that the right understanding?
yeah. That's
Awesome.
understanding.
Okay, and
I'm not,
Luke,
I'm not expecting you to write code or do anything like that. That's solely dependent on the team. But it's your job to make sure they're getting the work done. And I know like at interviews they asked me about budget, and then I didn't kind of sometimes it takes a while to put things in perspective. So now that I'm actually on a project, I understand what I mean by budget. So as for budget, um, once a project starts or get kicked off, the client has an expectation on how much money they want to spend or how much money they're paying the company to work on the project. So now, as a project manager, it's your duty to make sure that the team is not going over that budget. Um, and like I know you might be thinking like, how is that possible? You basically have to interact with your manager, your program manager. That will be most likely your manager that you report to, and this is where communication comes into play. You just have to talk, build a relationship with them, keep talking to them, and let them know what's going on. So that's it. Like for me, I had this project working with 2 clients. So a lot of the team members have been submitting their timesheet to a project that we don't have a lot of budget on or a lot of money to spend on. So now it's my duty to communicate with the team members like, hey, you guys are submitting your time to this project that we don't have a lot of budget. So please split your time, put your time elsewhere. Or sometimes I had another incident where the client was communicating with me that they wanted to fix some issue, but we don't have money to fix that issue. So I had to go back to the client and let them know that based on the contract that you guys signed with us, we don't have enough money to fix this. Is that okay for us to fix this issue and bill you guys extra? And they say, yeah. So when they say that, you just have to keep documenting and all that. So it's all communication and documentation.
Wow, that's really good, Luke. That's a great insight you're sharing with all of our audience, that what you actually faced at work, that you went back to the client and requested that if we can bill you extra. I know that no client will be very happy with it, but yes, that's the real truth, that project manager has to be very transparent with the business, with the teams, and with that transparency, he has to get the work done. I mean, that's a challenge at the same time, because it's not always so good that you can be transparent, and at the same time you have to get the work done. It's really difficult. But that's a very good point, Luke. I mean, this is a great insight you have shared with us. Again, one more thing, Luke, that let's imagine that you're working as a project manager, right? So, is there any specific tool you had been using, or it is just a communication which someone has to empower with the concepts of PMP, which is project management, the professional? So, what do you think, that is it something, a tool based knowledge which someone has to acquire, or is it a conceptual base of knowledge that there should be there should be something which you'll need to learn as per the concept, and that concept can be used? So is it a tool based knowledge, or it is a concept based knowledge? What's your take on that?
My take on that would be that it's both. I say both only because when it comes to documentation, you need to have a little bit of knowledge on words. Um, for example, I use Slack. We use Slack to communicate internally with the team members. But you might get a job, you have to use Teams. So like just write these tools down for interviews. They might ask like, what tool do you guys use to communicate? You can say either Slack or Teams. And then for us, since we have Slack, to communicate with a client, when it comes to like video calls and stuff like that, we have Zoom. And then for documentation, we have Confluence. Confluence is within Jira. So these are some tools that, had to kind of understand how it works. They're not hard to understand at all though. They're easy tools. And then, as for concept, the concept is not going to change whichever company you go to. So that's why I said it's half and half.
Now, this is really good thing, that the concept has to be same in every team, in every project, because every project work essentially with the team members, with the task, and with the client. I mean, most of the things are most of the things. Gaurav, can you? Yeah. So basically, the concept generally remain same in every project. It is just a way that how you are going to implement it. Am I right, Luke? Is that the is
Yes.
the right understanding? Awesome.
Yep.
Roy has a question over here. Roy is asking me and you, Luke, that is it possible to do both PMP and Scrum? Uh, so can I take this question, Luke?
Yeah, but I can
Okay,
quickly
you can
say
also
so.
answer. Yeah.
Like so, the position that I have right now, I'm a project manager slash a scrum master. So where's my scrum master role coming into play? I have to facilitate the daily scrums. And because our environment is not fully agile, we don't have daily scrums every day. We have it twice a week. That's for one of my teams though. And then for my other team, I have it once a week. And why is it once a week? Because of budget. Um, because the more we have these meetings, the team members have to build time to the project. So it doesn't make sense for us to have daily scrum every day. Um, so yeah, you can get a job and you might be a scrum master slash a project manager. So
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Luke. So basically, Roy, as Luke said, that a project manager can be performing both the roles as Luke is performing right now. And yes, if you really want to build your skills, Scrum and the PMP can go hand in hand. You can attend the sessions on both together. That will actually that is possible because it is not something where you have to do a lot of practice. So PMP and Scrum can go hand in hand in case you wish to do it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Luke, yeah, Luke, one last thing, which I'll not take a lot of time. You have already, shared a lot of knowledge with us. But Luke, how was the session with Uma? And I remember that you had some practical sessions where he tried to show you some of the stuff. So, what's your feedback on that? I mean, what's your honest feedback? To be honest, like I want you to be honest with all of us. That how was the feedback and how was it actually?
the feedback is good because I took a PMP course before I came to UMass. And then when I came to UMass, he was telling me and showed me a lot of things that, I didn't see elsewhere. So um the feedback on that end is good. He's going to be a lot of he'll show you a lot of documentation, a lot of procedures, templates. Um, for example, like he'll show you the SOW. SOW is something that's really important because every project comes with the SOW. The SOW is where it's going to have like how much money the project is, um, task, things that need to be done, scope on the project, things that need to be done. So I think it's really good. Just have to make sure that you're paying attention and studying also after each
Exactly.
class so you remember because it's,
Yeah.
it's a lot of information.
Yes, yes. It's a lot of information. When it comes to PMP, it's a lot of information. It's not a small, it's not a small certification where you can do it in a quick. It takes time to be a project manager. That's really right thing. And let me just explain you one thing about SOW. SOW is the statement of work. Basically, it's kind of a contract where the client shares with your project manager that this is what is expected, and it has all the details about the work needs to be done, plus the financial part of it, and also project manager makes sure that how many team members like sizing, that how many team members are going to be working on it. I mean, SOW is a proper document. It's a agreement between the client and between the team, or between the project manager to understand that what needs to be delivered by the team. So and it's actually SOW creates the boundary around the work so that at later point of time it is not a confusing confusion state of confusion that what needs to be done or what need not to be done. So anytime if there is any conflict, the statement of work, which is SOW, gets opened up, and they go through it and they say that, oh, we agreed on this, we are delivering it. That's the project manager who says this. So am I right, Luke? That's how the SOW looks like.
Yeah, and like I see some people are like confused or worried about Scrum and project management. Scrum is literally just the meetings and the ceremonies. Like besides that, there's not Scrum is not really hard to understand. Um, like there's the ceremonies. What else? Scrum is mostly just the ceremonies and then learning, making sure that your company or your team members are following the agile methodology. So once you understand the agile methodology and the Scrum ceremonies, then you're good to go. Um, but I like the project manager course because we kind of went over Scrum a little bit in there too. So um, I think that's a good choice.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Thank you, love. Thank you, love. I think you have really answered all the questions. I really appreciate that whatever you have done today by enlightening students. Thank you so much. And look, one more thing. That's the last question I have. That
No
is,
worries.
yeah. So look, what's your take? Like, if in case someone who is coming from a very different background, let's imagine he's a sports trainer, okay, or a sports instructor, or he's working in a very different background. So, do you think that he can be also a project manager? What's your take on that?
Definitely. For me right now, if anyone is trying to get into IT um, with no technical background, um, PM or Scrum is the way to go because the technical stuff is not for everyone. I mean, Scrum is not for everyone too, but at least you can be able to communicate. If as long as you can communicate, talk to people, and take notes, you're good to go. Like we text our friends every day, and communicate with our friends every day. So as long as you're able to do that, then um, Scrum or PM should be fine for you. Um, like even for me, I had to kind of I didn't know how I was going to like it because honestly, I don't like to talk a lot. So, but after I started, I realized like how laid back it is. You're literally just taking meetings and taking notes and making sure everyone is doing the job. Um, so yeah, that's my take on that. If anyone right now is scared of coding or anything technical, then yeah, this is the route for you to go. And you're still making as much as developers and those such things. And I saw somebody was asking about salary expectation. Um, I don't know. Me, I like being honest. I have friends that make 130, 140, and I have friends that make 100K. I have friends that make 90K as well. So that's the ranges. It just depends on how well you interview. And then you have to be honest with yourself as well. If you get a first job and your first job you're making 150, will you be able to hold your own? Versus maybe if you get a job and it's 110, maybe 110, they're not expecting a lot out of you right away. And you can take your time and actually learn and study how PM work, make mistakes, because these jobs come and go, so make mistakes. And then who knows, maybe your next job, then you can demand whatever money you want to demand. And that doesn't take nothing but like 3 months. Or look at or even 1 month. Within 1 month of you working at a company, you should understand everything about PM or Scrum. So yeah.
Awesome. Yes, that's a real good insight again, Luke. One thing, guys, which you have to remember, that is something which I really want to share with you, that you apply jobs on LinkedIn or maybe Indeed, Dice. You apply jobs on different locations. But if you have your friends who are already working, try to get the referrals from them. I mean, we also do that. We have some partnerships with recruiters. We do apply jobs through recruiters just to ensure that people get preference. Our students who have signed up for profile marketing, they get a reference. Okay, but that is something you have to always remember that if you really want to find a shortcut to reach to your recruiter who is looking for the project management, your project manager, then you have to get the referrals. Okay, referrals by your friends, Try to be in the community where you are actually making sure that you are connected with all of them, and you can request that if you can, basically you can connect with a lot of people who are project managers into different organizations, and can request if they can refer you. It doesn't matter if they are project manager or not. If they are working as a software developer, or they're working as a cloud architect, or they're working as a cybersecurity specialist, still you can request them to refer you. So try to build that network, because when you build network, you actually go a bit closer to your job. So make sure that you do it. Okay. I see one comment from uh, like Yinka. I mean, 90% of the CEOs are not trying not to uh, hire now. They see the recession coming. See, Yinka, recession is something which is like, which you never know that when it can come. COVID was the biggest recession of all time, and still in IT hiring was not was going on. It was not frozen. So if these rumors are coming up that CEOs are not trying to, big CEOs like Twitter, Facebook, we cannot comment about them. But there are like so many organizations out there, 100,000 organizations are there, and they're hiring project manager. I mean, it's really not possible to run a project without a project manager. This is really not possible. Who will interact with the client? Because software developer or the team members are working on their project, they are building the website, but they need someone who act as a coordinator. So and there are so many projects in IT, there is so many innovation going on across the globe, that people will hire. So the recession, if someone say recession is coming, I don't believe that, because COVID was the biggest recession and the people were still hiring in IT. I'm talking about IT. I'm not talking about tourism sector, or I'm not talking about travel. I'm just talking about the IT. When the recession didn't come in COVID time, I don't agree that the recession is coming. So don't believe that. Work hard, you will get the space in IT. I promise you guys, this is something which is welcoming a lot of people for next 5 years at least. Am I right, Luke? That can we run a project without a project manager?
Right. No, you can't. So like project management position is not going anywhere.
It's not going in. That's true. That's exactly right thing you said. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Luke. Thank you so much, Luke, for actually coming in and enlightening. You were so honest. I really appreciate that. Thank
No
you so much.
problem.
Okay,
Thank you
Luke.
guys. Wish you guys best of luck.
Thank you. So guys, again, coming back to the offer real quick for just 10 more seconds, that we are running a 60 minutes offer for 50% discount, Python, Linux, Scrum, project management, cybersecurity, for yourself or for your brother, sister, anyone. Make sure you drop your name and your interest in the chat within next 30 minutes, so that we can reach out to you and we can offer you 50% discount. Trust me, if the 60 minutes expire, we will not be able to give you 50% discount. This is the promotional offer going on. So make sure that you come and register and let us know. Okay. So yeah, moving ahead with the next part. So basically, people who are joining very first time, Think Cloudly is single stop shop. This is a slide I always share, that we do trainings, we do resume, we do interview. It's just one stop shop for all your interview needs. And even once you get the job, if you need any assistance in job support, anything, you need some assistance to understand how to solve your task, we do that. So if you need anything related to your IT requirement, reach out to us. We'll try our best that our team will try to solve it. There's a lot of team members who are really working day and night just to ensure that we provide best services. People who have already enrolled with us, they know how our admin works. They call everyone before the class. They do a lot of stuff just to ensure our instructors, our contractors, they actually work day and night with all our students just to ensure that they they help you. So we at Think Loudly, we're trying our best that maximum number of students who are associated with us, they actually get the job in IT, no matter if you come from any background. So that's Think Loudly. Okay, going forward, we do a lot of different courses. We do AWS, we do Azure, DevOps, Cloud, Google Cloud, Scrum Master, ServiceNow, AI, data science, data structures. These are the courses we offer. We have live projects on AWS, Azure. We have case studies on Scrum Masters. We have practical sessions on project management. We have certification assistance. We have resume preparation, interview preparation, job support. And also always remember one thing, guys, that if you refer one person in, you will get $100 discount. So we offer $100 discount on your running course. Or if you want a cashback, we can also return your money 100 if you refer one person in. So if you are bringing your friend, your family member, anyone in, you're helping us to promote Think Cloudly, then definitely you'll get $100. So you can earn $100 if you have people with you. So this is all about our product and services in a nutshell. I just don't want to waste more time over here. And I want to move to the next section, which is project management versus Scrum Master. And I want to give this floor to Mr. Shubham, who is highly experienced and he has worked with a lot of big organizations, and he will be coming and explaining us what's the actual difference between project manager versus and the Scrum Master. So over to you, Shubham. You can share your screen and help us to understand what's the difference between both of them.
Thank you so much, Naman, for the introduction. Let me share my screen first. Just a second. Let me know when you're able to see my screen. All right, I believe that I am sharing my screen right now, and all of you guys are. So, guys, first of all, before even starting off with saying the difference between Scrum Master and the manager, these two are different roles, and I'll get on to that where the difference comes in. But before that, we need to understand what is Scrum, and way beyond before that, we need to understand why Scrum exists. See, majorly when we talk about project management, our times are evolving, our needs are changing right now. Okay, first of all, before I start, let me introduce myself. So my name is Shubham, and I'm a agile coach, and at the same time I'm a professional scrum master with over 11 years of experience in scrum project management. I've delivered project using Scrum in the domain of banking, fintech, capital markets. I've catered customers of telecom and pharmaceutical industry as well. So, guys, do not ever limit your, I would say, approach towards one single industry. Scrum is something that can be applied to everything, to any industry that you can think of. We have case studies in which Scrum was applied to hospitals, Scrum was applied to oil and gas industry. See, any industry in which you see scope of improvement in terms of delivery of value, that is where your Scrum strikes in. So I was coming on to the fact that before actually uh, telling you about what Scrum is, why Scrum was needed or why Scrum came into being. Uh, okay, for that, I'll give you an example of uh, uh, an app that everyone uses. Think of WhatsApp. So if you know WhatsApp, let's say if I come to you and ask you that, can you build me WhatsApp? In early 2000, what used to happen was the traditional way of project management was followed. In that way, uh, project managers, stakeholders, developers all used to gather, and the involvement of stakeholders was just at the beginning of the project. That's it, and they used to get the project after 2 years. Now you got into a product and you asked, let's say a service firm that I we want an app like WhatsApp to be built. That's fine. They'll give you the app in 2 years. Okay. But seeing the times that we have right now, can we really wait for 2 years? Can the customer really wait for 2 years? No, that's not really possible. Reason for that is that now the times are evolving. Within 2 years, there are so many features that come into place that comes into WhatsApp itself. That if you deliver, let's say, whatever was decided 2 years back, and you deliver the same requirements, even if you deliver the same requirements after 2 years, your app will be very obsolete or old, or it will not have the features that can compete with the market. So you need to think in an agile manner. So that is the reason why this Scrum came into being rather than following a waterfall model. Waterfall model was that first plan everything, uh, or list all the requirements, then develop, and lastly you deliver. It took a lot of time, and that's not possible. So that is why we came into uh, we came into an agile approach or an agile philosophy that says that your deliveries or the product that you're delivering should be iterative and incremental, and it should be in short period of time. It should not be like that we should deliver it in 2 years. No, that's not the way to go right now, because see, the market, the features are evolving at such a faster rate that you cannot really wait for so many years to get a product. You need to get a product by end of month so that customer can check it out. Earlier, when the customer was getting it after 2 years, there was no customer involvement during that 2 year period or the waterfall model. But when we talk about the agile approach, or one of the way to implement agile approach is Scrum. Scrum is basically a methodology. So now let's come to the Scrum. So far, I hope you have understood why we came into Scrum rather than following a traditional waterfall model that was earlier, I would say, used. Now it is not used. Reason for that is the market is getting competitive. The features that we see, uh, I would say, within 2 years are getting changed so frequently that we would need an approach that can actually compete with the speed of those features. So when we talk about Scrum is basically a lightweight framework. When we talk about lightweight, we are talking about that it is basically we have very few members. The maximum number of members a Scrum team can hold is 11, no more than 11 members. So it's a very, very small team, light framework that helps people, teams, and organization to generate value through adaptive solution for complex problem. So now what happened was that, let's say if you have to build WhatsApp, you are not going to build WhatsApp in one go. What you're going to do is you're going to divide or break down that complex problem into smaller parts. And those smaller parts will be your shippable product. Small. It doesn't matter that even if you are delivering, let's say, in one of the, let's say, I told you about the time boxed value or the time boxing of Scrum, which we call sprint. So in a sprint, basically a Scrum team has to deliver not the complete WhatsApp. Let's say even in the first go, they deliver the layout of the WhatsApp, and customer is able to see that layout, that how will the WhatsApp look, how will the chat looks, how will what will be the font of chat. All of that is basically you will be able to show your customer after a month. Then you can receive the feedback. Based on the feedback, you can start working again on whatever customer says. So in this way, what you have done by using Scrum, what you have done is basically you have delivered something to the customer, you have gotten feedback of the customer as well, and at the same time, uh, uh, essentially what you have done is basically you have improved the process of delivery as well, but and thereby generating value for customer. So this is what essentially Scrum is basically a way in which you can deliver projects. I see Luke essentially explained a thing very beautifully, that in project management and even in as a Scrum master, he is playing the role of both. But see, a project manager basically oversees a lot, but a Scrum master majorly focuses on the team and how the work can be done and executed. So far, guys, are you with me?
So basically, let me ask you a question, Shubham, on behalf
Sure,
of everyone. So it
sure.
means earlier we used to follow a traditional approach that was
Correct,
waterfall model, right?
correct,
In
correct.
waterfall model, there was no feedback system, right? In a
Yes,
layman term.
correct.
And
Yes,
what used to happen that if the product is released after 6 months, you never know if your product is already old in the market, right?
correct,
That is
correct.
why Scrum methodology was introduced. That's what I
Ex-
understood, Shubham, what you meant. That
Exactly,
Scrum methodology gives you a flexibility that every after 1 month, you can go back to your client, show your
correct,
progress, get the feedback, get it
correct.
implemented, so that after 6 months, you have a product which meets the current market demand, isn't it?
Exactly, exactly. Yes, that's the way to go. So,
And
what's sorry? Go ahead.
okay, so basically, Scrum a waterfall model was not on agile, am I right? But
Yes, it was a traditional proof.
Okay, and Scrum follows the agile methodology, where
Yep,
agile has the concept that how soon you can go into the market with the right feedback implemented in your product, isn't it?
correct. Absolutely correct.
Awesome. Yeah, so this was the comment I wanted to, or this was a question I wanted to ask and rephrase for everyone on behalf of everyone. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. So you very rightly pointed out that uh, see the one of for few benefits that we got from Scrum is that now we have customer feedback. Uh, Time to market, what we call it, is very high, or not very high, very low. Your product is going to market very soon, rather than taking 6 months. You're taking it out in a month, no matter how small it is. So basically you have broken down a big problem into smaller chunks, and smaller chunks are easier to identify, their requirements are easy to grasp and develop, and that is why hence we use Scrum.
Okay, so one
So
question I have, Shubham, over here.
sure.
So when we say that Scrum works with a product, okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that product can be any product. It can be yeah, the software product, okay, which we
Oh
use
yes,
like an application, like a WhatsApp, like a Facebook. It can be any product which we use, and it
correct.
can be any industrial product as well, right? Or commodity,
Exactly. That
right?
and that's the beauty of Scrum, that it is not limited to just software development. It can be applied to, like I said,
Okay, just
pharmaceutical.
finally for to join, brother.
I'm
Sorry, go ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead, Shubham. There was
Okay,
some.
no, no problem, no problem. So that's why I said that the beauty of Scrum is that you can apply this agile methodology in any industry, and this is a fact that this is the most popular methodology that is used not just for software development or in IT sector. It is used in other sectors as well, and we have a lot of case studies to support that, where we have seen tremendous results using Scrum. So Scrum is a star. If you understand Scrum, you'll see that how beautifully you can deliver projects and with ease as well.
Absolutely. One
So
example, Shubham, I want to give to all our audience. Sorry to interrupt you guys. Guys, every 2 weeks you see an update of Facebook application on App Store or Play Store. That's the example of Scrum. Am I right, Shubham?
absolutely correct. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. That see, you divide Scrum is basically divided into time boxed value that we call sprint. Okay, a sprint can be of 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. At max, it can be of 4 weeks. The purpose here is to, by the end of sprint, the Scrum team should deliver a shippable product that can be tested and that can be actually used in the real world. So hence, like Naman said, that uh, like Facebook gives out, uh, I would say, an update in 2 weeks. That's a very, very good example of Scrum itself. They are developing everything within 2 weeks and giving out a giving out an update. All right. So with this, I can come on to the fact about the difference. Once you, now that we have understood why we needed Scrum, and what is Scrum. We'll come on to the fact that difference. So before telling you the difference, when we say Scrum team have three roles. One is product owner, one is Scrum master, and lastly, any other member in the Scrum team will be called dev. It really doesn't matter whether that member is a tester, whether that member is a developer, or whether that member is an architect. That member will be called the developer. So three roles. One is Scrum Master, Product Owner, and the developer. Product owner is the one who actually owns the requirements that are coming from the stakeholders. Developers are the one who will actually code. If I'm talking in terms of IT or software, the developers will be the one who will either code, design those requirements. And lastly, Scrum Master is the one that actually facilitates everything. He's the one. He's basically there is a popular term we use for Scrum Master, that is a servant leader. So he is basically providing services, and he is showcasing or leading the team by providing his services. So we cannot say that Scrum Master has, he cannot boss around, but at the same time, he can definitely mentor, guide the team to follow the right agile and Scrum practices. So with this, I can move into that Scrum Master versus Project Manager part. So guys, first of all, if we have to define both the roles, we would say that a project manager is the person responsible for leading a project from its inception to its execution, right from the start till the very end. The Scrum Master is there, the project manager is there. But when we talk about Scrum Master, see, Scrum Master is actually more, project manager is more project focused, Scrum Master is more team focused. Scrum Master literally focuses on how the work is going to get done. And the beauty of being a Scrum Master is that you do not need to know the technical know-hows. But even without knowing the technical know-hows, you need to know the fundamentals of Scrum. You need to know Scrum values. Once you know the fundamentals and values of Scrum, you will be able, you will guide and mentor the team to actually follow those values and principles and deliver a very good quality product. Whereas if we talk about project manager, see, project manager is majorly involved in talking to your stakeholders, in talking to, I would say, uh, other managers, and getting the team together, procuring the team. How many developers would we need in this entire project? Okay. uh, then planning, okay, creating budget, all of that comes under the purview of project manager. But Scrum Master is not really involved in, I would say, planning the budget and all of that. His main role is completely focused on basically the Scrum team, facilitating the Scrum team, delivering a good quality product by the end of sprint.
Okay, so
That's the,
Shubham,
Hey,
yeah, Shubham, sorry
hey
to
yeah.
interrupt
Subhan.
you. Yeah, Rango, do you want to ask anything? Okay. So Shubham, I just want to ask a question over here. Ilango, I'll come to you. Just give me 1 minute, okay? Um, so basically, Shubham, you're saying that Scrum Master is someone who takes care of the task to be completed by the team,
Correct.
so that at the end of the day, product can be delivered, right? And
Correct.
and the project manager takes care of the budgeting, like whether the project has enough budget, enough
Correct.
number of people, project
Correct.
is moving with the timeline or not, whether forecasting the timeline. So that is
Correct.
something which
Correct.
project manager takes care of, right?
Exactly. So anything that is coming under the purview of project, not just a single team, there might be many teams that he might communicate to. Okay.
Oh,
And
okay. Mhm.
so Scrum manager's job is just with his team. So his team members, and if there is any facilitation or support that is required by the team, be it if there is a clarity in terms of requirement, the scrum master will definitely reach out to the product owner and the stakeholders as well, so that the developer can get those clarity. So his job is basically to facilitate if there is any blockage faced by scrum team. So
Okay. Okay. So it means, Shivam, there can be
his
multiple
scope
scrum
comes
teams.
under the scrum.
Yeah. So it
Oh
means,
yes, yes, yes.
and like in one project, there can be multiple scrum teams, and for each team, there can be one scrum master. However,
Correct.
project manager is taking care of the entire project, right?
Exactly.
Okay. And
That's the gist of it.
yeah, one second, Shivam, Lango wanted to ask something. Lango, do you want to ask something?
Yeah, so I was gonna ask, right? So I think I kind of because and Timon, thanks for clarifying this particularly because um I think you mentioned something very vital in terms of budget, right? And
Correct.
announced the difference between the Scrum Master and the
Mm-hmm.
project manager. Now, in a
Mm-hmm.
Scrum team,
Mm-hmm.
so when building this product,
Yep.
I know that sometimes budget may be involved when building this application or whatever. Now,
Mm-hmm.
is there any time during the sprint
Mm-hmm.
does the Scrum Master, communicate with the project manager?
Oh yes. I mean, you're saying that the budget is already logged. You're saying that that means you have a limited capacity, right?
Right. So you have a budget. Let me give you an example. You have a budget, and I'll say it
Mm-hmm.
may be that you are trying to, let's say a financial app. You're trying to build a financial app, or you're trying to,
Mm-hmm.
implement a Zelle feature in a financial app, maybe any bank, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there is a budget that has been allocated, and
Mm-hmm.
which the project manager has to manage that budget. Now, when building
Mm-hmm.
this project, let's say something changes, the market condition changes, and the CEO comes and tells you that, hey, as a Scrum
Mm-hmm.
Master, we need to add this new feature into this application, right?
Okay.
And I know
Mm-hmm.
that that can affect the budget. It can affect the budget, and so is there any time that the Scrum Master will have to talk to the project manager and say, hey, the stakeholders have come and said that we need to implement this new feature into this application due to
Mm-hmm.
new market conditions or whatever? Is there any
Mm-hmm.
time where the Scrum Master will reach out to the project manager and say, well, the CEO has said that we should implement this new feature, but there is no sort of budget. The budget may not be enough. Now, because how does that work? You
Okay.
know,
That's a great question. Yeah. Well asked, I would say. See, you're asking, let's say, if there is a change of scope. This is what we call change of scope, in which there is an additional requirement. Okay. And additional requirement that came in between the sprint. So generally in Scrum, what happens, you already have a sprint goal, that there is a defined set of, I would say, tasks that a team will do. But just in case it's a high priority item, Scrum Master will not directly go to project manager. Scrum Master will involve, first of all, the product owner. And I told you there are three roles. Product owner is the role that actually takes care of these kind of requirements. So now, yes, the Scrum Master, in terms of budgeting, will have to check with the project manager as well. But who will he involve? He will involve the product owner. And if, let's say, there is no capacity in between the sprint, okay, although the capacity can be created by Scrum Master, that's one of the responsibility of Scrum Master. So but let's say if the capacity is not created, then that particular item will become a priority item for the next sprint to come. Answering your question, yes, the Scrum Master will get in touch with project manager, but with whom? First it will go to product owner, and then they both will interact with your project manager.
okay,
Am I making
okay,
sense?
yeah. Thanks a lot. That's what I wanted. Thanks.
Perfect. All right, guys.
Yeah, so
So
Shivam, I mean, we are already on top of the time, but we can
yeah.
be a little faster. But only thing is that Guys, don't look at this. I know that many of you are looking at the salary which is mentioned over there on the screen, but this is something which is an average salary right now.
Very conservative figure. Yeah, that's a very conservative figure. Do not look at it.
Yeah,
We try to
but
keep it
right
at the
now,
lowest.
exactly. But right now, when we are looking at the market, because in IT or maybe in different projects, the demand is really high. So
Correct.
The white guys are
Luke
increasing that.
communicated even earlier that the salary which he mentioned, that someone is earning 150K, someone is earning 130K, someone is earning maybe 90K as well. So it depends totally on the interview, on the performance of your in the interview, and secondly, how much project can offer you, how much company can offer you. So that depends on that. But the salary for Scrum Master and the project manager ranges between, as Luke said, 90K to 150 or 160K. That's the salary range we have in
Correct,
Scrum
correct.
Master and the project manager. I know that many of you might be looking at the salary. That's why I wanted to clarify that a little earlier. Yeah, thank you. Go ahead, Shubham. Shubham, we have to go a little faster, okay? Yeah.
Yeah. So majorly we have talked about what is project manager and Scrum Masters. Now there's one important thing that we have to look at. We've looked so about the salary component. Look at it from a very that's the range starting from here, but it can go really up depending upon the kind of interview that you have gotten through. So, lastly, in terms of job description, I told you that project manager job description contains planning, creating budget, a lot of documentation. Whereas Scrum Master is not really worried with the documentation of the project, but the Scrum Master really tracks the progress of the team. So that's the difference in terms of documentation of both Scrum Master and project manager. Project manager has to make up a lot of documentation in terms of the planning, in terms of budgeting, in terms of delivery, all of that. But Scrum Master is majorly responsible for tracking the progress of team, whether the team is efficiently delivering the task that they have decided to go with or not. So that's pretty much it about project manager and Scrum Master. I just want to take 2 more minutes and uh, discuss the benefits of Scrum. So, may I, Raman, or are we already on top of the hour?
No, that's okay. You can take 5 more minutes. That's okay.
Okay. So, when we talk about, there are five major benefits of using Scrum. Okay, first is better product quality. So, if you're checking in with your customers and stakeholders, and you are evolving the requirements as well, and at the same time, you are clarifying the requirements, that will actually show up in your product. See, every time your goals are clear, okay, those goals will get added in your sprint goal, or you can say Scrum, and the team will deliver based on those goals itself. That's why we say that we have better product quality. Okay, second thing is faster ROI. So when we talk about ROI, let me give you a brief. ROI is basically return on investment. So, like the example I gave you, if you're delivering a product in 6 months, the customer will start earning from that product after 6 months. But if, let's say, even if you deliver, no matter how small the product is, you deliver that product in 15 days, the return on that very investment of 15 days will be very much less. So the customer will start earning at a very early stage rather than what we had in what we he or she would have gained in 6 months. So that relates to more faster ROI, more control and reduced risk. See, when we talk about more control, it is control is more because the sprints are time boxed. So whatever you're doing in that 2 weeks, and daily you are checking up. See, I remember Luke beautifully explained that when he plays a Scrum Master, he has to daily check with team. So when you're daily checking as a Scrum Master, when you're daily checking with team, you are daily guiding them. If they are stuck anywhere, you're daily facilitating, and you are doing what? At the end of the day, you are you have more control over the complete scrum and the risk. When we say the risk is reduced, we are talking about, if let's say we are, after every 15 days we are coming together and we are checking whether we are going in the right direction or not, that removes the risk because we are inspecting and then we are adapting. So that's why we have more controlled and reduced risk. uh, Lastly, we have improved customer satisfaction, and that is one of the major, I would say, benefits. Because at the end of the day, whatever you are delivering, you are trying to deliver value to customer. And if the customer gets satisfied, then you have yield a fruitful result. That is the major goal. And how is customer getting satisfied? By involving customer after every 15 days, they are giving their feedback of what we have delivered. Let's say in sprint 1, if they were not happy, in sprint 2 the team will actually work on the feedback that was given by customer, and that's how the complete process improves and evolves. So by giving incremental and iterative deliveries, you are giving customer the satisfaction by giving a high value shippable product.
Okay,
So
so
guys,
Shubham, I want to ask one thing over here, that
mm-hmm,
it means a sprint means the,
mm-hmm,
like we can say, a timeline to deliver some task, right? Can we say
correct, correct.
1 week to be a sprint, or can we say 2 weeks to be a sprint, which is a time to
Yeah,
deliver the task assigned to the engineers or to the team members, right?
correct. According to Scrum, right from 1 day to 4 weeks can be a sprint. Generally, in practice, in professional practice, we keep 2 weeks as a one single sprint or a time box duration. A time box duration is basically a sprint. It can be 2 weeks, 4 weeks, not more than 4 weeks.
Okay, so guys, to be honest with you, all this knowledge regarding sprint planning, sprint, iterative model of delivery, faster ROI, more control, whatever is mentioned in front of the screen right now, which you see right now, right? See, whether you are right now learning cloud, you are learning cybersecurity, you're learning any course, there's in the interviewer is expecting you to have some Scrum knowledge as well. Okay, maybe you don't want to go for the entire course. That's totally fine. But when you still go for the technical roles, right? We are not asking that you enroll in the course and gain the knowledge. It's up to you. It's your own interest which you have to express to gain the knowledge on Scrum. However, all these sessions which we are right now delivering and all the terminologies we are using, sprint planning, ROI, you should be well familiar with these, because when you
Correct,
go next time in the interview, technical questions can be 75% and 25% can be the questions around the project activities. And these terms can be used. So that's why even when we were coming to the session, I and Shubham were talking, and I told him that we have to use these terminologies so that people are aware that what kind of terminologies are being used these days, so that you understand when you go in any interview. You should not sound that you don't know this, because if you do this, these are the basic terminologies which every engineer or every security specialist is expected to know. That's why we wanted to have this session with all the big terminologies, so that you guys are fully aware, and when you go next time, you are not acting that you don't know. So that's
correct,
why, if in case you wish to go back to this session again, I would highly recommend that whatever session Shubham has conducted, in a nutshell, he has conducted a Scrum, and just go back and try to watch this session again and understand that what are the terminologies are being used. To be honest with you, every one of you, Think Loudly, we are open to thousands of your questions. We might take some time, but we will explain you with clarity. That's what we believe. And that's what has become the testimony about us. So to be right now, Shubham, can
yes.
I have a last question, if I can ask you a last
Oh,
question?
absolutely. Go ahead.
That's a token of gift which I want to pass to all the audience to us right now. Okay.
Oh,
And that's
okay.
gonna be a challenge for you as well. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, Shubham, one thing which you can take 2 minutes of time if you want to think about it. But the open question for you is, which is going to enlighten every one of us, that
Mhm.
what is that important question, or maybe you can say a question which is asked in the Scrum interview.
Mhm.
Which is that question, and what is the best way to answer it? I mean, this is something which I'm giving you an open challenge for all of you. I know you are expert, so you can tell us one question which is frequently asked in the interview of a Scrum Master or a project management, like any one question you can tell us, so that people know and people are prepared. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So,
Do you want to take time, or you're ready?
no, no, I already know the question. It's just that,
Awesome.
okay. So first of all, whenever you're going into a Scrum interview, okay. So as a Scrum Master, the person they are going to ask is first whether as a Scrum Master, do you know what Scrum is? That's a very basic and conceptual question, but you should know what Scrum is eventually, and how, why is Scrum Master such an important role in Scrum. So I know I divided it into two questions, but it's a gist of one question only, that what is Scrum, okay? And as a Scrum Master, since the name of very role is coming out from the Scrum itself, Scrum Master. As a Scrum Master, what is the service that a Scrum Master provides, or the role of Scrum Master? So yes, it has to do with Scrum and Scrum Master. That's the most important question in an interview, and the way you explain it, the approach you take by defining what Scrum is, relate it to why Scrum is needed, what Scrum is, and how Scrum Master is actually a very the most important role in Scrum itself. So yeah, that's the question I would generally ask.
Okay, got it, got it. So, guys, you have to prepare for this, because that is something which is really mostly asked. Even when I actually used to give the interviews, um, interviewer used to ask me this question a lot, and even till today, this question is really at a peak. People are still asking these questions. So ensure that you are ready, and you are able to answer this question. Always remember, everyone, that if you are explaining a concept, be ready with two examples. That's the best way to answer any interview question. Okay, so that shows that you have the subject matter expertise. Whether you go for any interview, make sure your conceptual response is supported by two examples. If you do this right, you will be able to kill interviewer time, so that interviewer asks less questions within the time frame. And secondly, you will be able to express yourself that you have the best expertise. So try to build those examples, and you will find hundreds of examples over at Thinkcloudly website. You will find hundreds of examples over Google, thousands of examples on Google, YouTube. You will find there's a lot of content which is available. But always remember, when you are responding to any interview question, your concept response should be supported by at least two examples. Am I right, Shubham?
Absolutely correct. Conceptual understanding should be supported by a practical example that will give out a very good impression.
Exactly. And you know what? One day I was talking, guys, we are not killing your time. We'll be ending this session very soon, within the next 2 minutes. But I was talking to one guy, one of the expert, like few days back. And you know what, Shubham, he said to me that
Yeah,
interview is not about answering the questions. Interview is all about setting an impression that you will be
correct.
able to handle the work. Whether you right now, I was talking to Destiny 2 to 3 days back. You know what Destiny said? Destiny said, Naman, interviewer, the recruiter said to me that don't worry if you don't know it. We
Correct.
love your passion, and we will be able to train you well. So companies are ready to invest in you if you have the passion to solve their task, to do their task.
Exactly.
So
See,
try to show your passion. Try to kill the time by giving the examples, okay, and try to make sure that you're the one who can handle the task. Be confident. There's a guy who I met a few days back again, and you know what he said? No, man, I don't feel confident to answer. See, you if you are answering, just be confident. Confidence actually helps you to set that impression. So that's very
correct.
important, guys. Uh, okay, so I'm just so if you don't mind, Shubham, can I just quickly share the screen because I don't want to kill.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me
I'm,
stop sharing.
I'm
Yeah.
actually enjoying this conversation, Shubham. Yeah.
Even I am. Just a second. Yeah. So I add on to one more thing that you said about what to say. See, in an interview, the most what I feel is that give out the answers. They are not looking at just your knowledge. They're also looking at the way you approach the question. See,
Ex-
exactly what is the way you think about the question, the way you approach the question will actually tell them more rather than the typical knowledge that you might say out. So always think in terms of why, that why conceptually you should be strong. Uh, Practically, you will automatically be strong.
Exactly, you're right. So, guys, thank you, Shubham. Thank you so much for accompanying us today and making this session really,
Thank
really
you for
good.
inviting me.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. We are looking forward to invite you in future as well. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So, guys, we are ending this offer in next 2 minutes. I know we are already up the time, but in case any one of you wants to express the interest, otherwise, I'm just gonna make sure that this offer expires in next 2 minutes. If in case you are, just let me know. Like if you are interested in Python, Linux, Scrum, project management, cybersecurity, in any one of it, if you think that the career wise it's important, do let us know and avail this price of 50% because this price is I'm not sure whether in the next webinar we are going to show this price again or not. Okay. Okay.